at Small Business Bootcamp. I'm Robert Theobald, the Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services. We're excited to have you with us. I'd like to first start by thanking all of our community partners. We could not do the boot camps without all their time, their effort, and their expertise. So those not familiar, the Small Business Bootcamp is designed to help small businesses return from the COVID crisis stronger than ever. And it is a statewide initiative that is supported by all our community partners throughout the state. Additionally, the boot camp is not just the webinars every Tuesday and Thursday, but it is a resource collective and a content library. So let's dive into that a little bit deeper. The resource collective, you can find the link to it on the middle of the boot camp website. And it is a website we set up with tools and guides and resources provided by our community networks partners to help support small businesses. You can find many different items on there that can help support you in your business. The other piece, the content library, this is the result of recording all of our bootcamp sessions. We record each one and share them on the archive section on the website. With that, we have well over 150 bootcamp sessions recorded and available to you for your review. You can go back and watch them, download the slide decks and anything else related to them for those previous sessions. You can share them with friends and others, businesses you may know that may have a topic that they want to brush up on. Again, with 150 presentations, that's a pretty in-depth content library. So I want to also recommend two websites that are available to all, to everybody. It's the ArizonaTogether.org, which is the state's information, COVID-19 information and resource page, and then azcommerce.com/COVID-19. And this is a website that the Arizona Commerce Authority set up for business guidance for COVID-19, and you can find guidance, financial information, and a lot of other great resources for all size businesses. So with that, we want to share some of the ACA's programs that are available to small businesses throughout the state. First, we have our small business services, and this is available to help you support navigating through the SBA, the Small Business Development Centers, SCORE, and other programs that are available throughout the state. Our workforce division has programs available to not just employees, but employers looking to hire and develop their staff. And then the Arizona MEP is a manufacturing extension partnership, and they have a number of different programs to support the needs of small to medium-sized manufacturers, again, throughout the state. Another resource that is available to everyone is the Small Business Checklist. And this is a great interactive online resource that can help those that are looking to start a business or expand their business identify the commonly requested licensing, registration, compliance needs at the local, state, and federal levels. So with that, we want to jump into some of the business updates. We talk a lot about PPP loan forgiveness. We just like to remind everybody, if you've got a first draw loan, that's most likely coming up on the due date for applying for forgiveness. So we want everybody to make sure that you are aware of applying for that. If you're not sure if you took out a PPP loan or an EIDL loan, you can reach out to the SBA district office and they can find out, or you can reach out to small business development centers and they can support you in working with the SBA to find out which of those two programs you may have participated in. If it is a PPP loan, you do have to apply for forgiveness. The EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, is just that, it's a loan. With that, I want to mention that the EIDL program, they just announced some expansion. So we're going to post in the chat a link to that press release from the SBA. But they've increased the loan limit from $500,000 to $2 million. And they've also eased up on some of the restrictions on what that funding can be used for, including the repayment of some debt. So there is some approval in there to use it to help lower higher interest debt and bring some of that down. So if you have an EIDL loan, you want to definitely check out that press release we're going to share with those details. if it's something, it's still available too. So if you're looking for a loan, it may be something that can be used to help support your business as you respond to COVID-19 and a return as you come out of it. We also want to just mention the employee retention credit and the small business development centers. We're going to post some links in the chat for both those programs. So with that, I want to take a quick look at the upcoming sessions. So next Tuesday, we have our first holiday season type session, and it's sales strategies to soar through the 2021 holiday season. If the holiday season is a period in which you make a lot of your funds, money during that time, which a lot of businesses do, you need to start planning early. It'll be here before we know it. And so we wanted to make sure we touch on that in time for people to plan and make their adjustments and their plans for the holiday season. And then next Thursday, we have the third presentation by Taylor, by Financial Potion, on videos with YouTube search engine optimization. Then the following Tuesday, September 28th, holiday hacking. We have a two-part series on cybersecurity related to the holiday season and precautions that we want to take to avoid the bad guys taking advantage of your information through digital means. So we're real excited to have that. It's a new community partner that's going to be presenting with us. So we're glad to have them on board with us. And then Thursday, the 30th, we've got building small business value strategies for a successful sale or succession of your small business. If you're looking at possibly exiting your business anytime soon or within the next few years, 3 to 5 years or more, you may want to watch this because it'll help you make a plan for that down the road. So got a great lineup plan, but with that, we're going to jump into today's session. Again, we have Taylor Wellman, the co-owner of Financial Potion, and Taylor, we will turn it over to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for having me here. Last week was a lot of fun. I know some people even reached out to me after the fact to talk a little more. So what we're going to be doing today is we are going to really be diving deeper. Last week, we talked about the types of videos you should be posting. And then today, we're going to be going through, that distribution roadmap, how not to collect digital dust. And that's something that we're really passionate about. There's a lot of great production companies out there that will produce a great video, but then kind of wish you good luck. And we want to make sure that you're getting to the correct locations to be seen by your target audience. So once again, what you're going to learn is going to be the distribution roadmap and also your questions. And so at any point, please feel free to use that little chat box at the bottom, or the Q&A is actually better. So you can use that Q&A button, put your question in there. I'll take a look periodically before we move from platform to platform to see if there's any questions about that particular platform. But then I'll also make sure to save some time at the very end of our presentation to answer any additional questions. I do apologize. I am a recovering East Coaster, so sometimes I do talk a little fast. So maybe just make sure to post a question or post it in the chat if I'm chatting a little too fast. All right. So this is our distribution roadmap. As you can see, step one is creating that video. And if you're really unsure about what videos you should be creating, make sure that you look at last week's presentation. We talked about scripting, production tips, editing tips. And so you always want to start with the video, obviously. But now, once you have that video created, you can look at this map and determine where are the next locations that you want to go. And so as you can see, number 2 here is YouTube. And why start with YouTube? Well, YouTube is just universally used. As you can see, out of the world of 15 to 35-year-olds, 77% of people who are in the age demographic of 15 to 35 use YouTube. 73% of the whole population of people that fit into that 36 to 45-year-old range uses YouTube. Jumping all the way to the end at 56 and above, 67% of the population of that age group uses YouTube. I know myself, I fall I feel great following in that top half, but I still follow that top half being only 31. And yes, I use YouTube to learn things. It's so much faster just to see how things need to be done. I know my husband will look up a YouTube review before he buys anything. And so I'm sure you can put in the chat, who uses YouTube at least once a week to either learn something or be entertained. My son, who's only 2.5, he loves YouTube. Like that's his TV. That's his entertainment. And the other reason why we really want to focus on YouTube, and the reason why we actually have an entire course next week on YouTube optimization, is because it's the second most used search engine. It's not an actual social media platform, although I kind of put it into the social media roadmap. It is a search engine, and it's also the second most visited website worldwide. Now, we all know the number one used search engine is Google, and Google has owned YouTube since 2008. And so Google will populate YouTube videos and YouTube results in the Google search. And what we're going to be talking about next week is Google's been even taking it a step forward. They're even indexing chapters, so small segments within your videos, to be searchable. And so it's extremely important that if you're going to be doing video marketing, that you take the time to have a branded and search engine optimized YouTube channel, and then take that time to fully optimize the videos for the search engine. And what type of videos should you be posting to YouTube? Literally every single video you produce should go on YouTube. YouTube is one of those platforms where it doesn't care if it's a 1-minute video, a 10-minute video, a 1-hour video. As long as your channel is verified, which takes literally 2 minutes to do, then you're going to be able to upload videos that are really of any length. And so you want to make sure that if it's an introduction video, a product review, a how-to video, an SSME video, that you are fully search engine optimizing it on YouTube, because when you do that, you are fully search engine optimizing it on Google. So I'm going to go through what these 9 steps are, but fairly briefly. Next week, we're going to be going in detail and really showing you how to do these steps. So number 1 is we have your title. Your title should actually be 70 characters long that are keyword rich. Now, keep in mind when you're writing this title that the first 30 characters is what's seen in that preview when someone's scrolling on the wall. And so you want to make sure that the first 30 characters are something that's going to intrigue the viewer. It's going to let them know you're answering their question. Because remember, people are searching for answers online. And then you can utilize the final 40 characters to really make the search engines happy. So let's make an example here. One of the videos I see here is about welding. So let's say how to make something rotate. So it could be beginning welding tips, how to make something rotate. By using the phrase how to is the number 1 search phrase, because again, people are looking for answers. And so the more that you can put how to in your titling, it's really going to help you out. The description. The description is allowed to be up to 5,000 characters, and as a minimum to be considered search engine optimized, you want at least 2,000 characters, and you want to write it in a 4-part format. So part 1 is going to be a restatement of your title, along with the call to action. Because remember, we're in business. We want to get people to that next step. And so whenever you are adding a link to your website, you need to make sure you grab the entire URL. So the https:// and so forth. And if your website is a little on the long side for that URL, you may want to consider using a bit.ly link. Just make it a little smaller and more attractive. Part 2 is going to be a bigger explanation about what the video is about, as well as putting in the video chapters. Step 3 is going to be a general explanation, or part 3 is going to be a general explanation of who you are, what's your business, or what's your product. Step 3 and part 4, so part 3 and part 4 are all elements that can actually be put into your upload defaults so that whenever you do upload a video, it's automatically going to get put in there, because it doesn't matter if it's an SSME video or if it's a testimonial video, you're always going to want part 3 and 4. Part 3, again, is that general explanation about you and your business. And then part 4 is that stay connected section. That's where you'd want to have additional call to actions to your website and additional call to actions to your other social media sites. Then we go on to tags. So tags are not hashtags. You would put hashtags in your description in part 2. Tags are those actual words or keywords or common misspellings that you want the video to be found for. And so always include your name, your business name, the product name, and then think about what is that particular video about and what are the other, keyword phrases, or what are those other words people are going to be typing into the search box that you would then want that video connected with. So when someone is searching that keyword, your video also pops up. Custom thumbnail. You absolutely want to make sure that you are uploading a custom thumbnail, because YouTube only gives you those 3 terrible options. You're always like in a mid phrase and it's not very attractive. But what you want to do is make sure that you're creating a thumbnail that has a title, because people really, especially on mobile, are looking at the thumbnail to see if it's going to be answering their question. And so you want to make sure that there's a title on there, as well as some sort of face, whether it be a smiling face, a surprised face if it's something you're surprised about. People want to know that they're going to be able to connect with someone else on that video. And so it's really great to incorporate the two, both the text and a person on screen. Location tag. This is really important for anyone who has a brick and mortar location. Anyone who is actually listed on Google Places, you want to make sure that then you are tagging your videos with your location. When you start searching, you will see the search for your Google Places pop up, and that's extremely important to tag your videos with the location. End screens, number 6. So end screens are elements that are in the last 20 seconds of your video that is going to encourage people to watch more of your content, subscribe to your channel, and perhaps even go to your website if you're eligible to add that button. You can see from this first picture here, we have the large box that is a recommendation for another video to watch. This top piece, this top piece right here is your profile picture, which is actually a subscription button, so people can easily subscribe to you. And the reason why we want to have subscribers is because they're more likely to watch videos from beginning to end, reshare videos, and engage with your videos. So that's just going to help with your overall ranking and views of future videos. And then lastly, like I said, with the end screen, you can add a box link, an image link to link back to your website. But unfortunately, it's only once you're eligible. YouTube, a couple of years, decided to change their rules, as YouTube is notorious of doing. They change their rules all the time. And now you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers with 4,000 watch hours within a year's time in order to be eligible for their partner program. And only people a part of the partner program are able to add these end screens. So now you have some goals. You need to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours as soon as possible, so that way you can easily link back to your website. Cards are very similar to end screens. The difference is you do not have to wait till the last 20 seconds to include them. So you can see on this other picture to the right, we have our little eye icon at the top right of the first image. When you click on that, it brings out that extra bar that will show all the cards that are attached to it. So for this particular video, I see a link to the website. I see a poll. So this is a little bit of an older screenshot because they actually got rid of polls a couple months ago. And it's going to allow people to, once again, reach your website faster. That's the biggest strategic tool with cards, is linking to your website. But another really great tool is, let's say you created a video series. Let's say it's a 5-part series and you're on a video 2. Within that first 30 seconds, you can then put a card linking to video 1 to say, did you watch video 1 yet? And just help people stay in order and on the right path. Number 8 is transcriptions. You can see here, when you look at this first image with the red background, this little CC. CC means closed captions, and Google and YouTube together will automatically create closed captions on your videos. They do this because they want to, make it accessible for the hard of hearing, but also they are indexing the information in those transcriptions. That's why it's so important to correct them, because although YouTube and Google have gotten so much better in the years, like so much better, it still is really bad at getting your name and business name spelled correctly, especially if you have a unique spelling. But your name and business name are extremely searchable. And so you want to make sure that they are corrected. And you want to make sure that it's grammatically corrected so it aesthetically looks pleasing. And they do not do that at all at this time. They do not do any periods, punctuations, capitalizations, any of that. And so although it's a little bit of a tedious task, it's so worth doing, because when you do this, it can save you time when you're posting to other accounts. And then we have playlist placement. Make sure that whenever you have a video uploaded, that you're putting it in as many playlists as possible. So typically you're going to have a catch-all playlist. That's just the title of your business name or your product name, but then you can have more specific category playlists. So for example, our welding client here, he's going to have, Kevin Carone welding, but then he might have, beginner tips, intermediate tips, advanced tips. He might have reviews in there as another playlist. And so whenever he uploads a intermediate tip, he's going to put it in his general playlist as well as his intermediate playlist. What this is doing is it's giving him more opportunities to get found, because you can see here the other note is to make sure that your playlists have descriptions. Your playlists are also very searchable. So that is very quickly YouTube. Like I said, YouTube is very robust and very important, and that's why we're going to have a whole course on it next week. But once you have done that, what you can do is you can use the embed code to add it to your websites and to your newsletters. Now, keep in mind, YouTube, once again, did another update where you can't do any private embeds. And what that means is once a video is done, it's going to provide that checkerboard of other video options to choose from. And sometimes it may not be your videos. And so what you'd want to do is really embed playlists. So then that way, the next video of yours will play after the next video of yours, and so forth. But you can also use these direct links to add to your email signature. You can add the videos to your blogs. If you're doing blogs, I highly suggest you add videos to your blogs. Pinterest, the best plan really is to create the blog and then post a video that connects to the blog, linking back to the blog. Our goal is always to get people to our website as fast as possible. And then Patreon is a platform for people to create memberships. This is also a really great way to use those YouTube links to link back to your Patreon account. You can also use these links, and especially playlist links, to post to Twitter and LinkedIn, but you can also directly upload to LinkedIn. So let's talk about LinkedIn a bit. LinkedIn, honestly, is probably one of my favorite platforms to market, because we are a B2B business, and that's really, where you want to live is LinkedIn if you're B2B. And so this is looking at the demographics within LinkedIn right now. For YouTube, we kind of did worldwide of that age demographic, but now we're actually looking at who is on these other platforms. And so when you look at LinkedIn, you can see the majority of the people are 25 to 34 years old. And so what you really want to do right now is think about who is your target audience. And then as we go through the rest of this course, see, okay, is my target audience there? Am I a B2B business or a B2C business? Where should you be spending your energy and posting your videos? And so for myself, yes, I'm a B2B business. And I would say a majority of our clients are between the ages of about 25 to 60. And so for that, LinkedIn's a really nice spot for us. Yes, there's still that younger demographic of the 18 to 24, but very dominantly that 25 to 35 and up. Also, the reason why LinkedIn is so important for B2B businesses is that 4 out of 5 people on LinkedIn drive business decisions. They're either business owners, they're CEOs, they're CMOs, they are people who are going to make decisions. And so you want to be out there. You want to be seen on LinkedIn. So whenever they are in need of your product or your service, they remember you. So what are the type of videos that you should be posting on LinkedIn? Well, your introduction video should definitely be on your profile picture or your profile page. Make sure that you do that. Speaking of profile picture, actually, you can include a 30-second introduction on there. Now you have to use the mobile phone to upload it. So I actually haven't done it myself just yet, but it's on my to-do list. And so if you go on to LinkedIn mobile, you can upload a 30-second introduction. But just within your general platform page, you can add a link to your introduction video. It doesn't hurt in that profile page to add a review or two if you have them. But then generally what you're going to be posting on LinkedIn, I would say, is 90% SSME, which last week we discussed that it is search and subject matter expert videos. And then the other 10% could be sales videos. It could be a 30-second pitch on your product or your service, but don't make that the majority of your posting. Like I said, maybe only 10%. Really go with providing value first, and 90% of those posts should be those SSME videos. And so that is LinkedIn. As you can see, number 3 I have, because it's kind of like those are the big 3, and you see that we have other ones, but number 3, another really important one, is Facebook. And you'll notice that Facebook's on the complete opposite side of town of YouTube. They really don't like each other. They're honestly kind of in competition with each other. YouTube's been around since 2000, or for longer than that. Well, YouTube's been around for quite some time and has been really rocking the video world. Well, Facebook really wants to be the king of your content and your attention. And so whenever someone uses a YouTube link to post to Facebook, it's not going to get the views it deserves. It's not going to get the views or the engagement. Basically, what the algorithm does is it recognizes it came from a third-party site and it really buries it. And so number 3, when we're uploading to Facebook, you always want to directly upload to Facebook. All right, and that should have been 17 and below on that first one. So we're looking here again at the demographics within Facebook. And so within Facebook, you can see that, really throughout the years, it's gotten a little bit of an older demographic. I think because we all kind of just grew up with Facebook a little bit. Not necessarily grew up, goodness, I remember pre-internet, but, for us in the 30s to 40s, Facebook might have been one of those first platforms that we really got involved in. And so you can see that if you're targeting kids or, if your product's for kids, obviously you're really marketing to the parents. And so it's going to still be a really great place to be. Facebook really is more a B2C platform, so that's business to consumer, although it's still great for B2B businesses to spend some time posting on Facebook. I just wouldn't put it as high as a priority as LinkedIn. But if you are that business to consumer business, then you really would want to put Facebook as the higher priority. Facebook is also the 3rd most visited website worldwide. And so that's why whether you are B2C or B2B, you really do want to still be on Facebook, although we are starting to see some of the traction going down, I think, with TikTok that we're going to talk about later. So what are the types of videos that you should be posting on Facebook? Similar to the tips that I gave you for LinkedIn, you're going to want to put that introduction video on your business page. And so you can actually pin it to the top of the business page. So when anyone is new to your business page, the first thing they're going to see is your beautiful introduction video. You'll definitely want to post your reviews and testimonials, and make sure you tag the people that are in your reviews and testimonials. And then, just like LinkedIn, you really want to come out with providing value first. And so 90% of the posts should be those SSME, search and subject matter expert videos. And then the only 10% should be those, very salesy videos, the commercial videos. really make sure too that you're taking the time to create a Facebook business page and promote on your business page. And then what you could do is from your personal self, share what you're posting on your business page. So that way people who are connected with you personally will see your business post and then more likely start following your business. Now, when you're uploading to Facebook, there are a few steps to make it more optimized and have a better chance to be organically found in the Facebook watch. Now, this isn't nearly as much work you have to do with YouTube though. So number one is your title. The title does not need to be long. It really should just be clear and concise. What is the video about? Your post content, that's going to be the description in there. Definitely do not put 1,000 or 2,000 characters here. Here, you're just going to want to make it pretty simple and sweet, like a normal post. Tag whomever is involved in that video, add hashtags, and since we are in business, add a call to action. What's that next step? Should they go to your website? Should they DM you? What do you want people to do? Now on Facebook, you can add tags. Once again, those are those words or phrases that you want that video to be found for. And when you're putting your tags in on Facebook, you'll notice that it's going to start giving you recommendations. And so let's say we're looking for real estate. We might start, typing real. Then you would see real estate investment, real estate listings. You'll see different options on there. And you really want to leverage the options that you see Facebook post because those are connected with their Google or with their Facebook ads. And so that means those are keywords and topics that they're already tracking of their users. And so if you put tags that they're already tracking, then you have a better chance of getting that video in front of someone who likes that type of content. Thumbnail. The thumbnail you still want to upload, and I just typically advise that whatever thumbnail you created for YouTube to just use that same thumbnail. It's going to have a title, it's going to have, a person's face on there. And when someone visits your page, they're then going to be able to click on videos and see your nice video library with those nice looking thumbnails. Captions. So captions are honestly more important on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and all these other platforms. And well, no, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say then maybe YouTube, but that's not true because YouTube does it for Google search engine optimization. But the reason why you really want to spend time to include captions in these other posts for LinkedIn and Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is because we have found that about 80% of the people on those platforms watch videos on silent at first. Think about when you were last on those platforms. You're scrolling on your wall, and then you're just going to all of a sudden, see a video start playing. You might read along. You're going to read along and then see if it intrigues you enough to actually click on the video. If it didn't have any closed captions, if it didn't have any text, you have nothing to read along. Hopefully visually it looks interesting and someone will click on the video, but if not, you're really missing out. And so make sure that you are uploading those corrected SRT files. Those are your sub-rip text files in order to then have them automatically populate on your post. And so your option here is to either upload a video that has the closed captions hard-coded in the video, or you just upload that closed caption file that will then embed it onto your video when you post the video. Now, Facebook always likes to see what YouTube does and then does a little bit of copying. And so as I previously told you, YouTube used to do polls and then they got rid of them. Well, Facebook decided to do polls and currently still has them. So we'll see if they get rid of them in a couple of months since YouTube did. But at the time of this presentation, you still have opportunity to add polls to your videos. So why would you want to take the time to add a poll to your video? Well, we will look at your analytics, and your analytics might say that you have an average retention rate of only 1 minute. Let's say your video is 1.5 minutes. Around that drop-off mark, so maybe at 55 seconds, you'll want to add a poll. And what that's going to do is it's actually going to kind of restart the attention span and re-engage with that viewer. And it allows them to actually stay on that video longer. It gives, people an opportunity to give their opinion, which people love. And so when you're creating these polls, you want to make sure that you have a question that has to do with the topic of the video, and then just a couple of options for people to choose from. And then lastly, Similar to YouTube, you want to place your videos into a playlist or a series. And so Facebook has the option of playlist or series. So playlist is just, does the category fit? Like, does it sit in the same category? A series is if you're truly creating like episodes. And so let's say it was season 1 of how to grow food in your backyard. Well, then you would create a series about growing food in your backyard and put all the videos in there. So that was number 3, Facebook. As we continue around town, we have our Instagram, and we know that Instagram is owned by Facebook, so they can live on the same side of town because they all get along. And then when it comes to Instagram, you could post a video that's 1 minute or less to just the general Instagram account. If the video is 15 seconds to 10 minutes on your mobile device, you can upload it to Instagram TV. Or if it's 10 minutes to 1 hour, you'll actually need to use your desktop to go to Instagram TV and upload your videos. We, of course, for both Facebook and Instagram, have Reels and Stories, which are those little 15-second segments. And so who is on Instagram? So really, Instagram is fairly diverse, but as you can see, it's still fairly a younger audience, really primarily dominated by that 18 to 44 range. So, adults, but still fairly young adults are going to be on there. And as you know, Instagram is extremely visual. So if you have a product or a service that's very visual, you're a painter, you do pottery, you do tattooing, you're going to want to be on this platform for sure. And also, this is great for B2B and B2C businesses because 9 out of 10 users actually follow a business account on Instagram. And so you really do want to make sure, yes, if you are a B2B business, but you have that, demographic of 18 to 44, take some time to be on Instagram. And then you could also just simply share it to your Facebook account. The types of videos that you're going to want to be posting on there, really leverage your SSME videos, your search and subject matter expert videos, and your reviews. It's always great to blast your reviews and testimonials that you get on all platforms. And once again, tag that person. When you tag that person, then it's going to populate on their end. And so people who are following them will see it. And that's going to give you an opportunity to reach that broader audience of people you don't already know. Now, fortune does favor the bold. Going live. If you choose to go live, and you can go live on Facebook, you can go live on LinkedIn, you can go live on Instagram, you can go live on TikTok, you can go live on YouTube. These days, you can go live on so many platforms. And what we've seen is that it does increase interactions, and it also increases your engagement. Now, the reason why this is important is because engagement really is that marker, that measuring point of where to rank your content. Before with YouTube, it used to be based on views. It used to be based on, okay, this video has 1,000 views, so it must be really good and people really want to see it. They've learned that people can just refresh and make 1,000 views. So really now everything is judged on engagement. It's judged on how many likes or dislikes. Even if someone dislikes something, that's still an engagement. So that's actually still fine for you. How many people are commenting or sharing? Those are the metrics that these platforms are really looking at. And so the more that you can ask people to answer questions, during the conversations or even during your regular videos, the more that you can encourage participation into those comments and those chats, it's really going to help your overall ranking. And you can see here, Facebook, they see that it's 6 times more interactions. And I know for Facebook and a lot of these platforms, there'll be a little announcement. So-and-so's live now. And so they're really trying to help you with that bit of an announcement boost, get more views on your lives. For LinkedIn, at the time of this presentation, you still need to apply to be able to go live on LinkedIn. But for those of those businesses and organizations and people who have applied and are going live on LinkedIn, they're seeing about 7 times more reactions and 24 times more comments. This is huge. Like I said, this isn't just going to help your one video, it's going to help your overall profile presence and by helping your future rankings, because they see that you have content that people actually care about. So now let's talk about TikTok a little bit. So TikTok, how many people here, actually really quick, let's have some fun. How many people here are on TikTok? How many people already have a TikTok account? Just go ahead and put in the chat, just say yes, no. How many people here have a TikTok account? Because there's 1 billion active users worldwide and over 100 million monthly active users here in the United States. I'd really be curious to know if anyone here is on TikTok yet. And I want to know whether, even if you're just there just to have fun and watch some things. I got one to monitor my teenager. Yes, that's how many of us end up getting on the Facebook, the Instagrams, the TikToks, and so forth, is to monitor the kids, and then that's where you'll see the demographics start changing when you wait a year or two to look at it. And so as you can see here, it is a fairly wide range of demographics when it comes to age groups. TikTok started as that very young demographic, 18 and below. It became their new place to be because all the parents went on Facebook and then they all went on Instagram. And so then now they have TikTok. But here you can see that, well, now the older crowd is getting into TikTok as well. And the jump came crazy fast. Right here, you can see the users, the active users here in the United States. And this was this article was posted just August, last month, and it only showed me of August of 2020. But you can see here, it was already established in January of 2018, and we only had 11 million active users in the U.S. Here's the pandemic time. You see from October 2019 to June of 2020. See how much it jumped. And then again into August of 2020. And so people, I think, just wanted something new and something fresh. And yes, I can see here in the post, it is addicting. They have a ton of videos and people are posting videos at a rapid rate. And I am quite amazed when I see my clients post videos of how much engagement they are getting. I know we've only posted one video personally. I just want to test it out. That's what I do. I like pressing buttons and seeing what happens. And we had no followers. I wasn't following anyone. And we had quite a bit of engagement. I forget our totals now, but we had over 100 views of a very simple video and some engagement. And so this is something where if you see that you have your target demographic on this platform, you may want to consider creating a TikTok account. But then just like any platform, you want to be consistent. And so come up with what that campaign is going to look like. What are the type of videos that you're going to be posting on there? Typically, once again, those kind of 15-second short videos, definitely add a lot of text graphics in there that you can consistently post. So this is, once again, just a little review of our full distribution roadmap. You start with that video. No matter what, B2C, B2B, I don't care who you're marketing to, you need to go to YouTube. Take the time to go to YouTube. Take the time to fully search engine optimize your videos after your channel is fully search engine optimized. And then consider going to Facebook. Definitely, if you're a B2C business, you have to go to Facebook and make sure you fully optimize on there. If you're a B2B business, you need to go on LinkedIn, absolutely. And then we have our Instagram here and our TikTok. And so if you're that 18 to 40-year-old demographic, you really want to consider using both Instagram and TikTok independently. Now, one of the big questions that people will ask is, do I post the same video on every single platform? Yes and no. First, it depends on the video. Second, it depends on the length of the video. And lastly, the answer is typically kinda, because what we will do for people is we'll take our one SSME video. Maybe it's 3 minutes long. We'll put that 3-minute long SSME video on YouTube and on LinkedIn or Facebook, depending on who our target audience is. We'll take that 3-minute video and edit it down to a 1-minute squared, aspect ratio video to then put on LinkedIn, on Instagram. And then what we could do is even go a step further, take maybe that 1 minute, make it into a couple of different 15-second, vertical display videos that we can then put onto Reels, Stories, and TikTok. And so you're probably not going to be putting the exact same video on every platform, but you might take the time to make a small variation to your videos to then put on multiple platforms. I'm all about saving time and leveraging content. And so whenever you create anything, think about how can it be broken up and put into these different platforms without creating an entirely new video and new campaign for each platform. So that concludes what I already had prepared. I always like to leave a lot of time for questions because it's a lot of information and everyone has their own, unique situations. And so at this point, I would love for anyone to post anything in Q&A or in the chat. I have them both open, and let's go ahead and answer any questions you have about any of these platforms. And just please take note too of my contact information. Some things that we do offer a complimentary strategy session. And so if you want to learn a little bit more about video marketing, what you should be doing with your business, we do provide that half-hour strategy session. So that way we can discuss that. And for any of you who's already, utilizing video marketing, maybe you already have a YouTube channel, we do provide a complimentary audit, which will highlight what looks really good and some areas you may want to focus on to enhance your search engine optimization. And so you can email me your YouTube address, and then we'll send you back that YouTube audit. Okay.
All right, thank you, Taylor. Folks, let's ask some questions. We got some time. We got a little bit of time for Taylor to answer some questions. So post those up in the Q&A. And Taylor, thank you for those options that you just shared about some of those complimentary programs that you can help people with and some of those audits. That's really cool.
Yes, no problem. And I know some people ask if this is my cat. No, it's not my cat. I would never allow my cat to actually bite a camera.
One question I have is when looking at the roadmap, and I know you walked through those steps, it just seems so overwhelming, all the different places. Is it better to try to get on all of them or just focus on one or two?
Great question. So I always advise create a profile on all of them, because what that's going to help is just your name recognition in Google. If you have a Facebook, you have a LinkedIn, you have an Instagram, you have a TikTok, you have a Twitter, when someone searches your business name or your name, you're going to have that whole list of all those platforms. Now, in terms of which ones should you be consistently posting to, I say choose one or two. Do it really well, do it right, stay consistent, and then feel free to evaluate and add from there. Because if you're trying to do everything for everyone, unless you have a full marketing team, it's just not realistic. And so, for ourselves, we pretty much just post on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. We'll do the occasional Instagram. I've done the one TikTok, and I've played with the idea of trying to do more, but those are those three that we're going to stay consistent on. And so definitely pick a few that has your target audience, do it really well, and then slowly add on. I see a question here. Do platform planners like Hootsuite assist or hurt with posting videos? Great question. I had to save a client just the other day with that. Facebook's algorithms are so good. They're so good, and they're really all about you being on their system. And so if you use Hootsuite, if you use Buffer, they're going to know something about Facebook's algorithm. They just know. And then what they do is like I said, they are going to bury that post. You can do a side-by-side test yourself. Use Buffer or Hootsuite and post a video. Use the Facebook, uploader and upload a video, and you'll see the engagement difference. It's crazy. And so what you'd want to do is really plan ahead. Facebook and YouTube, they have schedulers internally. And so use their internal schedulers to go ahead, do all the optimization steps, get it scheduled, get it prepped out, and then stay ahead of schedule. And so I always advise that When you're on your step 1 of creating videos, create at least 5 videos per session. What that's going to do is if you put in your calendar a production session and create 5 videos, you can then post 1 video a week and you have a little over a month of content. So then within that month, you can plan another production day, plan another edit day, plan another, optimization day, and just schedule all your content ahead of time. So I was going to make one other comment. Yes, I was going to make one other comment. I have used, Hootsuite and Buffer for LinkedIn, and it didn't seem to affect the posting that much. And so if you were going to use it for LinkedIn, so far I've seen that it's been okay with that.
Excellent. That was a great question about the platforms and how they respond. So thank you. Any other questions? Yes. I don't see any Q&A, and I don't see any more in the chat. So with that, we'll give everybody a few, 10 minutes back or 8 minutes back to their day. We'll wrap this up a little bit early, but let everybody, take care of some business before they start their next meeting at 10 o'clock or 10:15 or whatever it is. Yes. We want to thank you, Taylor, for this session. Great session. We're looking forward to the 3rd one next week. So I hope everybody can join us there. We appreciate everybody for joining us today. We hope to see you on Tuesday for our next boot camp session. And until then, we wish everybody have a great end of their week and weekend, and we will see you on Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.